Hey everybody, this is Vince with Green Joe Coffee. So I got a question on someone purchased my ebook, The Ultimate Guide to Building Coffee Trucks, and the question was, what equipment has broken down over the last 2 years that I've been in business? And I thought I would kind of take that question and just take it a step further and talk about all the things that I've broken or have been broken on the truck over the last couple years, and that way it can kind of help you guide your purchasing decisions. So uh, the first one that I want to cover is cups. So originally I got this great deal on like these really cool cups. I got them for like a dollar a quarter each, and I was like, man, I could sell these for $5, and but just I ended up breaking more than I sold. So like the porcelain cups, I was not able to maintain those on the truck. They just break. So I stopped selling those on the truck. The second one is chalkboards. I love chalkboards, and I think they look really cool. And I use them for like menus and like little cute quotes and like prices and all kinds of stuff. But like the bigger chalkboards, I've gone through three of them, and but the wooden ones, the wooden chalkboards, they just break. So at this point, I just have a plasticade, and that's really nice because um, the poster size of the plasticade is, it's like I forget the exact. It's like maybe 2 by 3 feet, but you can find those posters like anywhere. So you can go to like your local Kinkos, you can go to Vistaprint, you can go wherever and get those posters printed out pretty cheap. And so it's really easy to have two different menus, one for transactions, and then of course, as you tell them the ebook, I like to use another menu for when I go to festivals where I kind of mark things up so that the prices that I'm paying to get into the festival is then put into the customer, and so my doesn't mess with my profit margins too much. I've gone through two windows on the camper, and have had to have both of those replaced. Those were both my fault. I basically backed up into my camper. I've gone through three pumps, the 12-volt pumps, and I've gotten really good at learning how to replace the face on those pumps because they're a lot cheaper than buying the whole pump again. But what happens is, I think I put my pump in the wrong place. It's pretty close to my wheel well, and so I think it's taking some of the vibration from the bump in the road. And I have PEX pipe, which is really flexible, and then I have this rigid plastic on the pump. And I think what's happening is that PEX is up and down. It just snaps that rigid plastic off, and I'll get, I don't know, 6, 8 months out of it and stuff, and then it pops. So, and then I have to replace the face on those again. So I've gone through a lot of those 12-volt pumps, unfortunately. I lost an awning in Arizona driving out to California. Grinder basket. You know what? So yeah, on my particular grinder, I have two grinders now. One I have the Mazzer Mini, and this other I have a knockoff Mazzer. And the knockoff, it doesn't have a screw to keep the basket in place, so that basket falls off and it just breaks. So one of the criteria when I was buying this grinder was to see if there's a little screw on the basket, the hopper where you put the beans in, so that that screw can hold the basket in place and that that basket doesn't fall off in transit. The air pots, just not securing them well enough. They're made out of glass. I broke one because I put cold water right after hot water, just busted it. So that sucked. Coffee brewer, I've gone through a couple coffee brewer, but Boswell is one that I particularly avoid now. I mean, I have some Boswells, and they're nice because it's kind of like this percolation system. You don't need to wait for them to boil their water, but they're just junky machines. Boswell, if you're listening to this, you need to put some money in your research and development and put out better quality. Because I bought a few of those things and they go bad. So I don't buy Boswell. My Grindmaster hasn't done me bad yet. So that's one that I usually recommend. So many extension cords. I can't tell you how many extension cords I've gone through over the years. So many extension cords. And a lot of it's just you're working the extension cord out so that ground prong busts off. And this machinery is around water. You need the ground prong, so it's like you just have to get new extension cords. Sometimes you'll go to these like festivals, and if you have frayed extension cord, they won't let you in. So you need to have good extension cords, and I've gone through so many of those things. I melted a generator in the beginning. For those of you that bought the ebook, you know that I nuked my generator trying to make it quiet. Some clothing hooks and kind of miscellaneous stuff. Now, generally, one of the things, my general things, I don't buy glass or porcelain or that type of breakable stuff. I lean towards like wood and plastics. But most importantly, the biggest thing that I busted on the on Green Joe was the frame. So basically, what had happened is I think it was just it spent too much time on the coast, and I think I have some rust damage inside um, my not my frame, but my uh, axle. Thank you. So I think I had some rust inside my axle, and my wheels started to bend. And once they do that, what happens is on your wheel, part of it starts rubbing bald. Yeah, and so I thought it was maybe I was taking turns too sharp or something, but it wasn't. What happened is my wheels started going like this. And what that does on the frame is it kind of warps the frame a little bit, and so as it's driving down the road, the frame starts doing this. Well, it finds weak spots in that frame and boom, pops them. So I had it welded a couple times. The welds weren't sticking. Like the welds were breaking off because the frame was brittle itself. And eventually, what I had to do was kind of like screw in some supports to it. That's its current status right now. I'm not putting much more into it because I have um, the coffee shop opening soon, and so a lot of my finances are going into that and my second truck. Um, but that was a big thing, and I talk about that a lot in a lot of the in the ebook. You know, on when you're picking out your trailer, definitely look at your axle. I highly recommend getting an axle that's weighted out to 3,500 pounds. I think anything under 3,500 pounds, once you add in your espresso machines, a couple different people, and all that water, you're gonna really start, putting some wear and tear on that axle. All you need it to do is bend, and eventually it'll start working on its frame. So that's something to be mindful of. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys on things that I've broken and destroyed over the last 2 years. And I hope this helps you on your coffee trucking journey. If you're in the research phase, this is something you're thinking about doing. Highly recommend getting that coffee truck book. I sell it on my website. It's www.greenjoecoffeetruck.com. Take a look at it. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. And I'm also on all the social media stuff. So once again, my name is Vincent. I'm with Green Joe Coffee Truck. Thank you, and please subscribe.